What up, y'all? XO603 here. So we are here today. We're on the H2 Carbon. We are going to be taking her in. We're gonna take her in. We're gonna finally get all the pieces. What's it called? The stuff. Woo! She just sounds so beautiful. But yeah, we're gonna take her in here and get her. Here's the deal. So when I was in Texas, I totally forgot I was so overwhelmed by getting this bike and going to shift sector and everything. I totally forgot the stock wheels and the what's it called? Well, I forgot some other stock parts, some mirror stuff, but I think I'm okay with letting this bike go with the winglets that are on it. But anyway, yeah, so I forgot some of this stuff, so yeah, I had to get it from Texas. Shout out to Space City Meats, my buddy Sean there, who actually just relocated to Jacksonville, Florida. So, if you are in the mood to host to create meats and host with somebody, he's going to be looking for that. But anyway, so yeah, shout out to him because literally this is the day after I had to drive up to Jacksonville, Florida to get the tank from him and the wheels. And then shout out to Frank because Frank went up to Booms and got him, so we can finally move this bike. It's been such an honor and a blast to have. It redefines bike culture, speed. That's the best way to tell you. It is like a bike you've never ridden before. Now already the H2 is a bike, in itself that you haven't ridden before. It's amazing, it's crazy. But I tell you, it's insane to get on this bike and feel the acceleration that is really truly on it. It is unmatched. And this bike is a stock wheelbase bike. So being stock wheelbase, it'll flip you. And with launch control is another thing that's pretty crazy, which I didn't know until Dee told me and showed me how to do launch control. So that's really cool. Yeah, I don't have it activated, but yeah, but for y'all that don't know, it's the mode button and up. So that was really cool experience. But I tell you, launch control, I could feel it, and if this bike was extended, it would definitely be a whole lot better, like the Ultra bike will be. But this bike is scary. Showed me a power, showed me something that I never really knew about it. Each time I've gotten on this bike, I've said it's either gonna get me a ticket Now I'm also trying to drain the gas too, because they're going to be switching the tank. But I have said that this bike is going to get me a ticket, locked up, or dead. One of the three. Which is pretty crazy, when you think about it. But that's how powerful this bike is. It's not your typical 600 bike. It is a very, that wasn't even full throttle. That was just quarter turn easing into it, and you could feel it wanting to come alive. So much more power, so much more energy to go, where it would just kick in. And like I said, when you ride this bike, you learn something different every time. It's crazy to know, every time you hop on this bike, it's going to teach you something different. It's not even about necessarily, the corning. That's another area, especially because I got the Diablo Super Courses on here with the carbon wheels. It is honestly, like I said, an insane ride for any rider. You will learn so much, not only about yourself, but about this bike and about riding in general. It pushes the limits to how crazy you actually want to get, That's really what this bike is all about. For me, so a lot of you, when I tell people I'm going to be selling this bike, a lot of y'all are like, wait, what? Why? I'm like, well, for those that don't know, I actually bought this bike as kind of an investment. I thought Kawasaki was doing away with the H2s, so that's why I bought this bike. And then Kawasaki said, no, we're not going to do away with the H2s. We're actually keeping them. So then I was like, okay, now I have two H2s, because that's undoubtedly why I did get the second one, the base. And but now the base has turned into the Ultra bike, because like, why would I do all that work devaluing this carbon? Because this carbon, you know, has the name of carbon, so it's going to hold value. So yeah, so I then said, you know, well, I'm stuck with two, what am I going to do? So I said to Booms, I said, let's make this an Ultimate Daily. We'll, you know, finish, we'll, you know, leave it as is for the most part, you know, because the thing is that this bike, well, not leave it as is, but I was like, let's not do the Ultra build, but what fun build can we do? And, you know, it was stage 3, and I was like, okay, let's do that. So we did the stage 3 build, and like I said, we did some other accents on it, the winglets, the carbon wheels, front fender, the Van Diemen exhaust, you know, the supercharger system. Of course, this thing is crazy with the air intake, everything, all the knit carbon pieces, everything in here. We also had the Diablo Super Courses on here. Like I said, this bike is truly phenomenal. We went with bigger brake pads and everything. So, you know, as you can see, look at this angle here. This angle of this bike is totally phenomenal, so beast looking. You know, for those of you that don't know, we have the shift sector stickers on there. So, and like I said, had I known this would be a huge issue, I would have left this bike with the matte, but I think she looks phenomenal with all the mirrored stuff on it. And, you know, truly phenomenal. Looking at, you know, how she is. I have really enjoyed this bike so much. It's been amazing. It's been a blast. And, you know, one of the other things is I will drop this. Chris has told me he is done working on the H2s. So this is actually his second to last H2 ever that he's worked on or will be working on, besides this and the Ultra bike. So when this bike goes up for sale, this will be the only last of the Boom Tune HQ H2s. For y'all that don't know, Chris holds the record in the H2s in the half mile, and I believe the mile as well, but he holds the record for fastest H2s. One thing you gotta realize is these bikes, your life is between your legs. You need somebody you could trust who knows what they're doing, because this bike will literally kill you. And any bike will, but you want somebody you could trust and knows this bike in and out. So I will tell you, yes, this will be the final, second to final H2 done by Boomstoon HQ. So with that being said, I'm gonna go in here and get a drink. It's really hot out here, toasty, but we'll continue this video in like a second for you, 2 minutes for me. All right, y'all, we are back. We're gonna get this thing to Sarasota Power Sports. As you can start it, beautiful. Yeah, we had to get the new lemon Red Bull flavor for people down at Sarasota Power Sports. But anyway, back to the spiel. Yes, so if you want this bike, it will be for sale coming up at RPM Power Sports, which is located in Sarasota, just outside shy of downtown. So really awesome bike collection there. Y'all should check them out online as well. They have some phenomenal bikes. But yeah, this bike has been a blast, has been a joy. I really can't sum up what it's been like to have this bike. It's a bike like none other, really. Like I said, I think Kawasaki hit the mark when they came out with this bike. It is a phenomenal bike. And you know, with all that being said, with the Ultra bike coming, that bike is just going to break necks, everything. I won't be keeping that. I'll be selling that as well. So that will be a bike you definitely will not want to miss at all either. These two bikes, like I said, are going to be one of a kind because they're the last Boomtoon HQ H2 bikes being built by the wizard himself. So, yeah, listen to that. There's no other bike like that. And you know, the aura of this, as Vic by Visuals would say, it's unmatched. It's just a phenomenal, lovely bike. And she's loud. Let Mako ride it, and I heard this thing, I was like, wow, that's crazy how loud it is. It's just so cool, just cruising, you know, you're just cruising down the road. Sounds phenomenal. You know, this bike definitely, I did not know what I was getting myself into. When I got this bike, I did not know what I was getting myself into. Seriously, I will say that. But it's worth every penny, I tell you. And I should also say this bike is made to beat 2,000 horsepower cars. You know, I don't have to put the power on full display for y'all. I think it's somewhere out there that's been put on display. But, you know, yeah, she's a crazy animal. You know, I mean, I'm speechless, honestly. You know, you want the ride of your life. You want to do something that nobody else has. You know, this bike. Now, granted, if your level of skill of riding is not, you know, anywhere close to, you know, good. If you haven't been riding for, I would say, a couple of years, not years, but I'll say over 10 years, you need that to at least ride this bike. You need to also understand the understanding of boost life, you know, because definitely understanding boost life is a crazy transition, you know, from there's a manager of service, Tanner. I'll park over here by Katie's bike, keep the Kawasaki's in line. Whew. As you can see, they have a lovely inventory here. I always come here, there's something new. Whew. Oh, there we go. Am I gonna hit? Yeah, well, right. But wait, I'll show y'all this two-step. So it's supposed to be like that, and then yep, it's on. So, which I did not know about this bike. I didn't know about that. There, Tanner, that. And she's still breathing race gas. So that's going to be a huge debate about this bike coming up soon, shortly. But we have the Kawasaki H2 Carbon 2025. Like I said, this bike will be going up for sale. So we're going to take her in. We're going to take the tank off. We're going to get all the panels taken off. Put the matte carbon back on. We're going to throw the stock wheels back on. Brand new stock wheels. Haven't ever seen a mile. And she'll be off to her new home, hopefully. Like I said, if you do want to buy it, I personally, I'm a person that I don't want to have it on my conscience. So literally, if you want to buy her, I have to know you can ride. I will not give the okay. And still, even if I give the okay, I will probably still want a document signed that I'm not liable for anything. Because like I said, this bike is a monster. It is far beyond any other bike ever. Power-wise, everything. Chris Boom is the genius, the master of H2s. And yeah. So, Y'all, with that, peace, love, ride safe. Remember, the world is evil. There is no need to be hateful, spiteful, jealous, none of that stuff. Just enjoy the beautiful blue sky and sunshine. And I'll leave you with this beautiful view of the 2025 H2 Carbon.
What's going on, everyone? XO603 here. So today we're at Sarasota Power Sports, and we have brought the H2 Carbon, Kawasaki's 2025 H2 Carbon. So the thing is that for all that are new, I got this H2 because I thought it was a good investment, because I was hearing the rumors that they may do away with the H2s. I was mistaken. Kawasaki pulled a fast one and said, no, we're going to continue it. Now it looks like this year we're going to get discontinuations of stuff because they've started doing the anniversary editions of stuff. They haven't done the anniversary of the H2, so maybe we'll keep going, and I've heard rumors they're going to drop the horsepower, future ones after this year, but we'll see. But this is a fellow farewell here. So basically, I bought this bike as an investment. Then when I heard they were doing away with it, then I said, let me buy another one. And so people ask, why am I getting rid of this bike? Why am I getting rid of it? It's not anything to do with the bike itself per se. It's just the fact that, I don't need two H2s, number one. Number two, when it comes to H2, this bike, honestly, I will say if there's a bike that scares me with power, to access that power, it's this bike. So preferably, it's such a beautiful bike. I've enjoyed it. I've loved it. And, but now it's time to go to a new home, as previous bikes have. So we are at Sarasota Power Sports, and they're going to put the it's matte fairings, but the H2 Carbon matte fairings back on, and the back here half on. And we also have the stock wheels that I left out in Texas, and thankfully to shout out to Space City Meats, Sean and Frank, for grabbing them at Booms. Was able to finally get them over here. Took a drive up to Jacksonville, and also helped them move, which was really awesome. And then he also brought the matte tank. So one of the things was that when I did get the other H2 base, I love the mirror fairings, and these are all from the, and there's somebody tearing it up. These are from the base H2. Now, if you look at the new H2s, they actually, I think they did away with the mirrored, or they did certain parts mirrored. But the thing is, though, is I loved it so much that I wanted to get the mirrored on the H2 Carbon and take these off. I mean, it's nice having these. I'm not really a fan. I feel like the mirrored goes with the actual Carbon, with all the reflection, and everything else. So yeah, and then we also have the BST wheels here, which look beautiful. Also have the Van Diemen exhaust, which has glued beautifully. Got the supercharger envelope, of course. We did all the tippets, the rear sets, carbon here, carbon here, carbon here. We also did the carbon all up in here, along with the ASV levers, which these things have been awesome with the green dials. We also did the carbon winglet here, carbon here, and we did the carbon winglet, carbon front fender, which if we can find it, we'll bring back the H2 Carbon fender, so it will go with the actual matte fairings. And then we also did the carbon air intake. So this is a two-piece set, which is really awesome. It'd be awesome to be able to take this off, but it's kind of too integrated with the tune and everything, so we're gonna leave most of the carbon on it. These though, I'll probably end up keeping, because the matte fairings they have the piece there to take off, but part of being the H2 Carbon, I want to keep it like that. So probably just be the winglets unless we find the mirrors. And then we also did the bar ends and the grips. Also did carbon here, carbon down here, and Brock stand rear sets, and carbon on the back tail end here. And like I said, the carbon there, and same thing up front top there. So realistically speaking, and then all the other work to this bike is in the engine itself. As I said in the previous video, this is Boomson's one of their last H2s. This will be, actually, I don't know if there's other H2s that's been there. I don't think so. So if realistically, this will be his second to last build, other than the H2 Ultra bike, which we're finishing, which will dwarf this bike in comparison with all the work that's being done to that. But so this bike is such an iconic bike, and like I said, I really haven't been able to describe to y'all what it is this bike is like riding. I mean, you see the videos and everything, but for y'all to actually get a feel for it, you all have to actually ride it, and the torque is just insane. It really is. And you know, when you told me it flipped me in 5th gear, I was like kind of like, okay, yeah, I got it. And then, you know, when you actually ride it, when you actually put it, you know, the hammer down, you're actually like, wait a minute, this thing still wants to lift up like I'm in 1st or 2nd gear, and then it starts descending like, heck, like how much is to this back tire? Now, as you all may know, is that with the Ultra Bike, we are actually doing a double-sided swing arm with, I believe, the ZX14 or ZX10 setup. So totally different setup. It won't be single-sided swing arm like the stock setup is. But yeah, so this is an end to an era. Like I said, the bike will be going up for sale. More details to follow. I'll probably post this, and you know, there'll be a link eventually or whatever when it goes up for sale. But yeah, we're here at Sarasota Power Sports. Shout out to them for taking care of us. Always can trust them with the H2. And yeah, and so it's sad to see her go. I honestly, I will say I probably will regret this sale, but you know, at the end of the day, you know, this isn't Pokemon. You don't gotta catch them all. And like I said, the reason why buying this bike wasn't to necessarily keep it, but just as an investment. So I've had my fun with it. It's been beautiful, lovely experience, and I enjoyed it. I hope those that have seen it have enjoyed it. And yeah, so yeah, here we have the 2025 Kawasaki H2 Carbon. And y'all, if you're ever in Sarasota, definitely be sure to check out Sarasota Power Sports. Great service department. Also, they have tons of inventory here. As you can see, some of them there. But yeah, and I think they have like R1 on the floor, and I know they did get a ZX10, but I think the ZX10 is gone. But yeah, so well, that being said, y'all, peace, love, ride safe. Remember, the world is as evil as it is. No need to be hateful, spiteful, jealous, evil, none of that stuff. Just be positive and loving, and enjoy the beautiful weather, the sun shining. Whoever that is getting up on a bike, oh, wheeling. They're wheeling, okay, with a passenger on the back, I think. Maybe the back. I have no idea. Look, if y'all can wheelie, wheelie. But if y'all don't know how to wheelie, don't wheelie. If you're new to wheeling, please don't wheelie. Go to a parking lot, practice, and remember, you're probably gonna drop the bike, so chances are, make sure to have enough money in the bank at all times. And same thing when it comes to these bikes. Always make sure to have money in the bank. You know, a lot of y'all don't realize that. You know, don't get a bike until you're stable and financially set. You know, and yeah. But anyway, that's my spiel for y'all. Have a wonderful day and night wherever you are. Remember, like I said, life's short, and you always want to be happy and live with those happy memories, because that's what we can take for life. And shout out to Boomsoon HQ there. Got the shirt repping, you know, of course. Like I said, end of era, but yeah, y'all, it'll be up for sale. And I tell you, whoever gets this bike, you know, it's going to be phenomenal, honestly. And it's still going to be discounted price. I'm not going to ask anything absurd for what I've done to it. So yeah, y'all, later.